Here we are,
Okay.
live and alive. And,
How about this?
Yeah, if you just want to start it, we're good to go.
No, I want to. Don't we talk? Isn't this a loose?
We can
looseness?
filter. Yeah, we
Is
can
there a filter in? We don't do that anymore.
We can
Just
filter.
because Zoe's here, we start
No.
We start hot.
It's the it's getting back to the post game pods time, which late.
Yep.
We're up late.
Yeah, I feel you, CJ. We're up late, brother. I get it.
Zoe, tell me what's new. Tell me something good in the filter.
Something that's good, man. You know what? I'm down almost 15 pounds. I started a ridiculous workout regimen, dude. I'm running a couple times a week. You know, I'm ironically, just like CJ said, everything outside of Sixers life has been great. That's usually how life goes, dude.
Wow. We're doing Zoe in training camp shape. Best shape of his life.
best shape of my life. I'll be ready for my first day of training camp.
That's it, man. That's what it's all about. I'm happy to hear it. How far are we running? Are you running in the neighborhood, or are we going to like a gym?
We're doing neighborhood. So we live in a pretty like scholastically dense area. So there's a ton of middle schools and high schools around us with little parks and tracks and stuff that we can use. So I'm excited about that. Amari's running with me, you know.
Oh, come on now. How old is he?
I mean, come on. Amari is 6. He will be 7 in November. Dude,
beautiful.
the doctor, I'm just praying to the doctor. If I get 6'2", that's mid-major guard right there. I'm like,
yeah.
Doc,
that's
tell me
Hofstra,
6'2".
baby. We're taking him to Hofstra.
Right. I'm like, look, 6'2", we're mid-major. 6'3", maybe Mary Mac.
Yeah.
I get 6'4", Seton Hall. Knocking on my door. So like, you know,
get ready to learn Bonnie's, brother.
Get ready to learn Bonnie's, brother. That's it. Get ready to learn A10, dude. You're gonna you got LaSalle Explorer written all over you.
Come on. All right, should we do it?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Big show. On the show today, a lot. A couple Summer League games. VJ Edgecombe played. His Summer League was not over like we worried it was.
His thumb is intact.
The thumb is intact. The wrist is still there. A Paul George injury update, which we will get into, and a very long, comprehensive, vulnerable ESPN column on Joel Embiid that blew me away, blew a lot of us away. A lot to discuss. No spike. We have our friend Alonzo Jones here. But first, the Rights to Ricky Sanchez podcast is presented by Draftkings Sportsbook. Sign up for Draftkings Sportsbook by using promo code RTRS. Brought to you by BodyBio. Get 20% off any BodyBio order. I sound like John Gruden for some reason. With code August at bodybio.com. Kornblau Law, the official law firm of the Rights to Ricky Sanchez, and Surfside Iced Tea Vodka, the official canned cocktail of the Ricky. It is Surfside season. Zoe has shaved 15 pounds, we're hearing. And that is Surfside weather, my friend. That is Surfside body.
Weather, brother.
That's what it's all about. So subscribe to our writers as well at rightstoRickySanchez.com. Surfside is the official drink of Philly sports. Get it wherever you get your canned cocktails. Drink Surfside.com. Shave 15 pounds with Zoe. You got to be 21. Amari's not drinking it yet, but he's enjoying the can.
But
Surfside, iced tea and vodka. CJ, Amos and the chef.
We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We was right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. We were right, y'all. We were right. Even when it went wrong, we were right. We were right, y'all. We were right. So say the name. Say the name. Say the name.
Oh, Lord. Welcome to the Rights to Ricky Sanchez. I'm your host, Mike Levin. No Spike, so instead we have our good friend, Alonzo Jones. So, how are you doing, my friend?
What an honor. Wow.
We've been trying to do this a long time.
A long time. It's Summer League. We're back. Oh, man. I am alive and breathing for the Mike Armstrong game.
You call him Mike. It's Mark. You're trying to. That's your own Summer League time.
No, I want Summer League time. My Villanova friends, please disregard. I do know Mark Armstrong. But yeah, man, dude, I feel like we've been trying to do this for months and months. So I'm so excited that we finally got it together. Proud of us. Excited.
Really happy to have you. Really happy to have you. Okay, so quick Summer League stuff before we get to all the other big stuff. The Sixers have won back-to-back games in Summer League. They've never won back-to-back before. This is the first time that's happened. I think that's cause for celebration. The Wizards put up a grand total of 58 against them.
Against VJ's defense, yep.
Against VJ's defense, coming back, 2 steals, 1 block. Justin Edwards goes 5 of 10 from deep. Keve Aluma getting in on the action. Tell me who you... Yeah, who are you liking at Summer League? You got Bona getting 6 blocks, 8 rebounds. Edgecombe doing his thing. Who have your guys been so far this Summer League? And then we can start to tick off the bigger ticket items.
In no particular order, but the guy who I'm just incredibly happy for and excited for is definitely Bona. He looks so good, man. He looks stronger. Looks like this is, again, non-scientific, but it looks like he gained a couple pounds of muscle in the offseason. He definitely, whatever offseason program they put him on, he took it very serious. He looks a lot more vocal. He's flashing a lot more. He's getting those boards that last year he wasn't getting. I'm excited for just the minutes he's going to get. I'm really happy to see him show improve in the second year. I loved him coming out of UCLA. I just felt like he was a guy who needed just the right program. But I love him so far. A guy who has also been really, really, really impressive to me these past 2 games. And I gave him shit last week, so I got to give him a shout out now. Janai Broome is definitely the shot started falling. It looked like he had a bad first half tonight, but a really good, really, really good second half. But these past 2 games, he's looked like his Auburn self. He's just moving dudes out of the way with that footwork, backing smaller guys down. I think he had double-digit rebounds tonight. Yep. Super, super. I put in Corner 3 last week that I expected him to be a dude who just outsmarted a lot of guys because he's older. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's starting to do that. So I'm really, really proud of him. Really, really happy to see that he's starting to come into his own there. And then obviously VJ, man, I can't have enough superlatives about just his energy. I feel like on a team that's, I'm knocking on wood, but that's trending toward some kind of youth movement. He's a guy who really, really, really is getting me fired up. I needed something else to get me excited about the Sixers, dude. And it's outside of just having the 3rd pick, like having him has been really fun. He talks a ton of shit, which I love. Like he's like telling dudes, "You're not as good as me. You're trash. Like I'm gonna come back and dunk on you." And then he does it. You know what I mean? Like I know people are saying it's so easy to say he's he's showing you just shades of young Jimmy Butler. Like we'll get there, but I don't want to put anything on his coat right now. I just feel like he's a guy who's gonna be a ton of fun to watch. And this is gonna be so weird, and this is gonna be disqualifying, but give it to me anyway. I'm so happy to see Jared McCain just up and moving again.
Yeah, for sure.
Like he's so important to what the program's going to look like for this season. So good to see him around the team again. I saw that they've been letting him do some very light stuff and shooting drills and stuff. So I was excited just to see him around the guys again. I think that's superbly important to have him, back into the fold as quickly as possible.
Well, there's a lot of sad stuff to talk about in this one. So CJ, I sent you that link just to like a little palate cleanse. You bring up McCain, you bring up Edgecombe, just a little palate cleanse to a video that the Sixers posted on Blue Sky to just watch a few buckets go in. Look at the form. Look at the base. VJ
look
steps in, clean,
VJ just
quick,
stepped into
smooth,
it.
easy
Yes.
release. McCain, bang,
Look at him, so smooth.
bang.
Look at VJ.
It's
So
just nice to see.
inspirational.
Can you like? I feel like having a 6-year-old during the Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe era. That has to be the most. That's the most special time. These are the perfect guys for a 6-year-old to be following.
It's top tier. Like, I didn't want him watching James Harden dribble the air out the ball for 20, 22 seconds. But watching
Parental
these
guidance
guys,
on that TV.
Parental guidance, right? Everybody, this is PG-13. Whatever you put it. I'm excited about him getting to grow with them. Hopefully, all three of them. You know, you never know what happens, but I think that at least for the next 2 seasons, whether or not they can play together. Like you said this before, but we'll get there. Like if they have to move one or two of them, you know, we'll eventually get to that point. But I'm hoping that there's room for all three of them to grow together here. I think that's I'm giving away a little bit of the lead here, but it's that consistency that you hope for finally, right, man? I just think that for a roster that has so much turnover, if you can just have that core 7 or 8, and your turnover is on the back end, with guys that you're plugging and playing, it's a lot easier to sell to guys rather than here's our new starting 5 for the 10th year in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. You mentioned Janai Broom. I want to just say, like, the threes have been looking good. He was 4 of 11 from deep. One was a heave. So let's say 4 for 10.
Yeah.
He was 2 of 6 yesterday. Like, he's been hitting them. He's been taking them. 11 threes is a big deal that he is a willing shooter. The pick and pop was the concern coming in.
Yeah.
And now, he had a nice game tonight. An okay game yesterday. That's all that he can do, really, is the pick and pop. That's the thing that I feel like good. Thank God he has space to do it. He doesn't have to use any speed. He's got all the time in the world. It was good to see him get some post ups, going somewhere tonight, because there were a lot of times first few games of Summer League where he's backing somebody down. Doesn't matter who it is. He can't move them at all. They're just standing there. They're standing still.
Not moving.
And then he tries sort of like a one hand, like a little flip shot from like 14 feet out that doesn't have a prayer. I also thought that he was going to be really smart and just outsmart players.
Yeah.
And he hasn't necessarily done that as a passer, as an off-ball mover. His handle is, fine for a big, but he's not breaking anybody down.
Yeah.
He's just really, really unathletic and slow. And that is a problem.
It is, man. Like I remember, if you remember that game where Auburn played Houston, he had 4 turnovers in that game.
Yeah.
And if you go back and watch that tape, Houston played him the same way I think he's going to get played in the league. They just had guys who were bigger and more athletic than him. So like when he had the ball and was trying to do that little back down and spin, it wasn't going anywhere. He was going up against the brick wall.
Yeah.
And like, man, and you have to take a huff and puff because he literally is just not athletic. He's not going anywhere.
No.
He's not dunking over anybody. No. Like, there's no kind of crossover, get to the mid. Like, no kind of, as Kevin Durant would say, no midi there. Like, Nick Nurse has his work cut out. I'll definitely say that. Like, I didn't hate him. I didn't hate him coming out because I thought that he legitimately would just be a smart basketball player, or he was smart enough to make it work.
Yeah.
But the early returns are just a guy who might just not be strong enough right now. Like for his position, it's going to be tough. I would have a hard time giving him minutes over Bona, like during the regular season.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell.
It's tough because you want a guy like that to be like, okay, you're not really a rim protector, so let's play you at the 4 where your rebounding is like a nice bonus, and that's cool, and you can step out and hit threes and occasionally like make the right pass, some like, some Nick Batum connectivity stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
But he can't move anybody. He's going to get blown by, like, at least as a 5, like he can stand in front of some Nick Richards or something like that.
Right.
just stand there.
Hands up, right?
Hands up, bud. But he's got quick hands, and he's a smarter player than we've seen. I mean, it's his last few games have been good, but it is worth noting, like, the talent at the beginning of a summer league is a lot better than the talent at the end of a summer league.
At the end of it,
that's a tough one. But hopefully he bounces back. He put up really, really good numbers in a really good team and a really good conference. So hopefully he figures it out. And if there's maybe, I don't know, let's hope there's some ankle injury stuff. Like, I'm begging for it. Somebody leak an ankle injury, please, God.
Somebody leak a cartilage injury.
Give me some cartilage.
Like, we need anything, please. Anything we can hang our hat on.
Last thing before we go to a break that CJ's yelling at me at. Judah Mintz or Hunter Salas? You pick one for the final two-way. It's Salas right now, but he hasn't been great.
He hasn't been great. I kind of like Judah Mintz, man. I know it's Salas, but I love Judah Mintz, man. I like him a lot. They gave him the rock, and
they had to.
He's exactly what he's supposed to do with it. Like, Hunter Salas, he might be something, but I've been way, way, way more impressed with Judah Mintz right now.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to have a third point guard that you could give the ball to, because you don't want it to be Kyle Lowry.
You don't want it, right. And like, shout out again, Kyle. No offense to Kyle Lowry.
No offense, Kyle. We love Kyle. Come on.
Love Kyle.
Hands up.
You always have a hands up.
We're good.
No offense.
Love Kyle.
No offense. We love Kyle. Got to always have a Catholic lead and public league guy.
Yes, sir.
But when you got to buy Maxey those 2 minutes to be awesome, just put a Judah Mintz in. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then pop Maxey back in to start the fourth, finish the game out. You want to be able to trust a guy with something like that,
Yeah, somebody that can get a little better. And his defense is pretty good, and he's pretty athletic for how he moves offensively. But speaking of being athletic, what helps me be athletic, Zoe, is BodyBio. What you can do if you're listening to this podcast, as we enter the dog days of August, you can get 20%. Baby. It's dog. It's all dog. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Email us with dog questions. We'll probably answer them because there's not going to be much to talk about. Get 20% off on any order at bodybio.com with promo code August. The deal right now is about remineralize. Everything about being healthy, supplement company, is getting the minerals that are good for your body. And everything about farming today. We talk about over farming. You and me, Zoe, we text about over farming all the time.
All day, baby.
That's what it's about. They are stripping the mineral content out of it, which means that our food, less nutritious, depleted of essential minerals as compared to 50 years ago. But even if you're filtering your water, it removes some of the bad contaminants. It also removes the good contaminants. So to ensure that you're obtaining a naturally balanced, broad spectrum of minerals, BodyBio created Remineralize, sourced from dried salt beds in Utah with Ace Bailey, and it's minimally processed. Quick and easy way to ensure that you get your daily dose of minerals. I also use Elite, which helps me with my leg cramping after basketball. And I also use Gut Plus when that's available. Not available right now, but Butyrate, also good for my gut, keeping me regular. All that good stuff. So go to bodybio.com, use code August, 20% off any order. Okay, all right. So the Summer League, we're going to put Summer League to the side for now. We're going to talk for a couple minutes. That's mostly just going to be you and me sighing back and forth because there was a Paul George injury announcement. He got hurt to the same knee that he hurt last year early on. He hurt it during a workout. And he went in to the guy that did Embiid's knee and just did the same thing. I'll have what he's having.
I'll have what he's having.
Nice little scope around. Arthroscopic. We'll revisit this at right before training camp. He'll be reevaluated. So
that's comforting. We know that.
That's comforting to know. And I like when they say a successful surgery, I'm always like, oh hell yeah, successful. We got it. We did it again. I'm high-fiving everybody. I'm running around the neighborhood high-fiving successful surgery. We've all been saying, man, that this year will be not as bad as last one for Paul. Couldn't possibly go as badly. Open threes. Maybe the athleticism is gone. Maybe he doesn't get to the rim anymore. He still plays defense, and the jumper can't be as bad as it was last year.
Right. Just can't be.
Unless it can. What was your reaction to the injury news for our friend Surgery Paul?
At first, I have to be completely honest with you. At first, I was like, "Oh shit, are they trading Paul George?" Because I just saw the breaking.
Yeah.
And then I read and I continued reading. And I was like, "Oh, that actually sounds more like it."
That sounds more like it.
He's a guy. I mean, the guy took months to recover from getting those shots to the groin and to the injured hand and like other stuff. I'm frustrated for us, just from a standpoint of this second or third star shit is just never gonna work out. It just is what it is right now. And in terms of just Paul George, the player, I feel duped. I feel like somebody just drew the fucking clown filter on me that they use on TikTok or whatever. And then the icing on the cake for me, right? Because this is so Sixers-y. To make it even more Sixers-y, a day after that, there's a Bleacher Report Instagram article where Podcast P talked about how if he was a free agent, he would never go to the Hornets because Charlotte doesn't have a winning culture. I'm just like,
I didn't see that.
I'm just like, brother, I implore you to just practice some shut the fuck up for a little bit.
It's a good practice. That's my yoga practice.
Right. Just please, man. That's my thoughts, dude. I've gone from it can't possibly be another bad year for him to if he even steps foot on the court before the All-Star break, I'll consider it a win.
Yeah, that'd be real tough, man. That'd be real tough. He's not explosive. He doesn't get to the basket anymore, but just in he hits open threes. He can handle a little bit. He can make the right pass a little bit, and he can still defend. Like, you need that. They need that. They need his length for sure. But I will say it is July. Mm-hmm. Plenty of time to heal, and I want to reference this AU post, Andrew Unterberger. Paul George does not exist again for me until October. Whatever injuries he wants to get into on his own time before then is none of my business. I think that's great. I think that's AU's best take in a while.
Best take. Shout out to our guy, AU.
Needed it. Needed to hear that. It doesn't count. It's off season.
No, it's off.
You're off the clock, bud.
Whatever you want to do, just like vacation. Whatever vacation you take is your business, man.
Just don't come in to tell me about the Dominican Republic. I don't want to hear about it.
Right, I don't want to hear about it, dude.
Make your knee right.
Don't tell me I gotta go stay at Rio. No. I feel like it's also I'm being selfish too, right? Because I also feel like they need him to play just for other teams to get a semblance of what he is, right? Like, let's call a spade, and they decide, look, Daryl's like, look, dude, this just isn't working. I got to see what I can get. They got to see what he is, what other teams, like who knows who's going to get this. Always happens every year, right? Tim McMahon yesterday is like, oh, these are the two worst big name contracts in the league, blah, blah, blah. Who's going to take these contracts on? And same thing said about every contract. Teams get desperate. Like teams that win now, like the Warriors may get desperate and so on and so forth. That's down the line. But I just feel like they need him on the court so other teams can see what he's still got left.
Yeah. Even if you don't believe in the Sixers doing anything this season, or Joel or Paul George's health ever, or whatever.
Right.
It'd be nice if one of them was healthy. If one of them is healthy,
right,
then and that person is Joel, then the Sixers are gonna be pretty good.
Pretty good.
If one of them healthy and it's Paul George, then at least he's resuscitating some trade value. When I don't think right now, but you get after this season, he's only got 2 years left. I'm already past the season. It's already gone.
Yeah,
already looked past it. And after next season, it's 1 year left. So basically, there's 1 year left. I think that math checks
1 year
out.
left. Yeah.
So just trying to resuscitate his value a little bit so that when he's an expiring contract or when he's got 2 years left, if you're being optimistic, somebody could go like, okay, yeah, we can use Paul George and we can hand over our less expensive maybe but bad contract as well, and we can then deal with that or something like that. So tricky, but I mean, even if you have no hope for the Sixers, you still want Paul George to be healthy so that somebody finds something of use in him. And hopefully it's not a super serious injury and he bounces back, but it's not great, man.
Knees are just, I mean, what the hell am I even saying? Knees are just tricky. In case we didn't know, knees are tricky. So I hope the guy bounces back. I want us to have something fun to talk and write about in October. I want the people who are going down to the games to have something fun to watch. I think overall, before we even get into season previews, next month and in September, I think they will be a fun team to watch if you get a healthy Maxey McCain and VJ for sure. I think right off the bat they'll be a much more fun team to watch.
They never have been.
The bars are right here.
Usually people are watching the Sixers to be like, I gotta see what happens. I gotta see this. I gotta watch it. Oh, there's a car chase on TV. I gotta check this out.
Oh man, you can't turn away. She's like, wait, we gotta finish this one out.
We gotta finish it. I'll go to bed later. That's fine. So hopefully, I think it's a good point. Hopefully they are a little more watchable than last year. Do you think this impacts the Quentin Grimes situation at all? I don't. I think that Daryl's going to hold firm. But if you're Quentin and his people, then you might want to be like,
then you're making this face.
You're making that face a lot.
Yeah, you're like, hold on.
You're just holding up a picture of a knee.
Yeah.
Quentin Grimes. Someone gave Quentin Grimes a bunch of pictures of Paul George's knee, and he's just holding it up.
Here you go, dude. This is the knee. This is the groin.
You trust this? This is what you're going to go with? 82? 82 of this one?
Hey.
I don't think so.
All I asked for was 16, Daryl. Maybe that 16 turns to 25. Hey, who knows?
Yeah. I think Daryl's going to hold firm, but yeah.
I think he's going to hold firm. I real quick on that too is I like Q. This is obviously all part of the business. But I was telling somebody the other day, he just picked the wrong summer to be a restricted free agent. It's just the money just dried up there really quickly. I mean, Draymond Green even hinted to it. Not that Draymond Green is the emperor, the grand emperor of NBA free agency, but he even hinted that the money's just really slow this summer because guys are waiting to see what Luka does, and teams are trying to fill, those rosters. It's just like LeBron hanging out there. Oddly enough, it's just a weird summer to be trying to cash in because people are just holding tight to their money until next summer and the summer after that.
Yeah,
there's an Anthony Edwards possible free agency coming up. Like it's all weird until the next 2 summers.
Yeah, I think it'll eventually normalize and get a little weird, but it's bizarre that they instituted such a restrictive second apron without really warning. Like it wasn't like, okay, in 3 years, this is what it's going to be. It's sort of like the contracts that everybody's already signed and have sort of planned the next couple years of their like franchises for have become like, oh, okay, well, we're fucked then because we already did all this and you didn't give us time to like build into it. Very, very bizarre. How much if you're Quentin Grimes and you're having a nice summer and you're like, man, I had a rough season with the Sixers. I played well. I had fun in that way, but lost a lot of games. I'm going to my restricted free agency. The market's not there like I want it to be. I'm holding out for every penny I can get. How much are you allowing yourself to like? I'm not going on a hike. I'm not doing anything dangerous this summer with $75 million hanging in the balance. I'm sitting my ass down.
Dude, I'm sitting my ass down. I'm putting bubble tape on everything. I'm not even
no sharp corners.
No sharp corners. I might even go into a different gym. I'm like, I'll do everything. I'll do everything for my apartment. Like,
Yeah.
send me the video until that contract gets signed. Right. No sharp corners, no flip flops.
No.
Like, no open toe shoes.
no, man. Nobody. Just like he's taking an Uber somewhere, and the Uber driver looks at his phone. It's like, hey, put that thing down.
Hey, pal.
Safe. 10 and 2.
Going, right. Seatbelt on.
Yeah, please, everybody. Just missed like the most careful person in the world. But I do think it's very bizarre that there's just been no restricted free agency movement, not just Grimes, but Kuminga and Giddey.
Yeah, Kuminga. Yep.
It seems like Kuminga is eventually going to get traded, but hard to know where that ends up.
I feel like
it could just draw on forever.
It's such a weird relationship he has with them, and I can't tell like if they love him or hate him, or if he's a guy who, like, if he plays ball, that they'll tolerate him. But it's weird. There's been no movement there. I like the guy. I wouldn't want him, but I think he's got a place in the league. It's just weird. I feel like his relationship with them has always been strange.
Yeah, since the beginning. All right, we're gonna get to the Big Joel article and talk about it for 19 to 20 hours. But first, we're going to talk about our friends at Kornblau and Kornblau Law. It's the official lawyer of the rights to Ricky Sanchez. If you have something going on, you need it. You need him. We have email after email of all of our sponsors, but Adam always gets into the weirdest ones, it feels like. Hey, I reached out to Adam because this kind of thing happened, and I didn't think he would handle it, but he kind of did. He's trustworthy. You're going to get the right attention from him. And when you call it Kornblau Law, you're getting a Kornblau. They might have cut one of the Kornblaus from the name, but they kept the Kornblaus within the purview of what they do. You're going to get one. Some of the biggest medical malpractice cases in southeastern PA. He always has two pieces of advice. This is what he says. If you're in an accident or get hurt, don't lie. Don't be a hero. And don't, as we're going to hear, trust the Sixers medical staff. Don't do that either. If you need a lawyer, the guy is for you. Offices all over the area. Text him, call him. He will come to you. They specialize in all aspects of bodily injury, car accident, slip and fall, injured at work, medical malpractice. If you need a lawyer for something else, like we said, could be a weird one. Could be a weird one. If he likes those. Likes to be tested. Expand his mind. Give him a call.
All the greats do.
All the greats do. You can't put him in a box. You can't just put him in a corner and tell him to catch and shoot. He wants to get in there. He wants to operate. Little Judah Mintz and Adam Kornblau.
Little Judah Mintz. Let him go to work.
Let him go to work. Let him go to work. You don't know. You don't know if he can put up a shot here. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. He'll get you a good look. If you think you might have a case, give him a call. Shoot him an email. Costs you nothing. 215-701-4467 or Kornblau at kornblau.com. Adam Kornblau, the official lawyer of the process. Okay. So out of nowhere, now I heard from some Sixers Adam and some other people that they've seen ESPN around Joel over the last year or so, but out of nowhere, a large, very long article drops called "Joel Embiid Sees You," which is impressive and dangerous. And it's a really good picture, eyes glaring at us, written by Dotun Akintoye, local guy. Had not heard of him before, but he did. This is an incredible way to make your mark. I thought it was an absolutely incredible piece of journalism, piece of writing, piece of reporting, to embed yourself with somebody like Joel, who is, let's say enigmatic, like he is. Right. It was an absolutely. The article kept going, and not in a way that I felt was too long or like, okay, is it enough? It just kept going. It's like, how did they get this much information to like, seriously, it really boils down to, I'm going to read a bunch of stuff and we're going to react to it and we're going to talk about it. And Spike and I and CJ have been emailing with ESPN and Dotun to try to get him on the podcast. So we're going to hopefully try to make that work. But I thought this was just such a special piece. I encourage anyone who listens to this podcast, whether you're a Sixers fan or you're hate listening or you love Embiid or you hate him. It's just Joel is such a tragic figure. I've said for years now that Joel, despite being like an unfathomably gifted basketball player at 7 foot, is the most human superstar that I've ever seen. I think that's an interesting pairing. He's from Cameroon. English is not his first language, and yet he's so human. There's so much humanity there that we can see. Obviously, but like we can really even when he wears it, when he doesn't wear it, like you can really fucking see it, and we just relate and can feel his pain we've gone through with him together. It gets dramatic, but this article gets into his humanity more than any long form piece ever has. Also, the fact that he's watched Vampire Diaries 10 times, I thought that was a lovely note. There's a lot. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, but I really encourage you to read it. Sit down, get some tissues, think about life, think about how far we've come, and read it. So I'm gonna get into it. I want you to stop me when you feel like you want to react to something. I sort of arranged some things in some order of how I want to talk about them. So Dotun writes about all the injuries, right? Foot, knee, face, other part of face with the Bell's palsy, the death of Joel's brother Arthur, which he will forever blame himself for, since he hadn't seen him in 3 years when he died, as he had just moved to America as a teenager, chasing his dream of pro ball. It also, which seemingly permanently scarred him from answering the phone. Yeah, which I thought was a harrowing detail. Like he has thousands of missed calls and mixed texts because every time someone calls, he thinks about that. That's 9,000. Yeah, Jesus. Obviously, the Marcus Hayes incident is brought up. The death of his dog, which I had forgotten about. I didn't know it was like an elevator incident. That's just so fucking. There's just a sadness to and around Joel, and it seems like there always has been, like a loneliness. The vacation to France where he stayed in his room the whole time, and his parents decided, like, all right, we're not bringing you anywhere.
You're staying here. Even just reacting to that, like even Grant Hill was saying, when they flew him out for the Olympics, that he was kind of a loner to begin, and they had to like coax him out of that cocoon of, I'm just kind of here to do my thing and go practice and then go back to my room. He's like, dude, you're at the Olympics. Like, Seth Curry's 20 feet away from you. I think that his humanity, for a guy who we all, especially in this area of the country, have come to know so much, in his 11 years here. Man, it really did put a lot of stuff in perspective for me. I know that a lot of things that's happened to Joel is his own culpability, but I do think there's a lot of things, and if you read this article, you find out quickly that people just really did him wrong on. Like, he's just a guy who does not trust anybody, and I don't think I can blame him for that.
Well, he says that, right? So, he says he's grown as a leader and that he used to be nowhere to be found. He says, ask teammates then, ask teammates now, they'll tell him. And it's like, Dotun asks, why? And he blames the way he was raised, and he gets into that a little bit, and how when he came to the States, he was super lonely and learned not to trust anybody. Mm-hmm. And it feels like so much of this column is about trust. It really gets into it across the board. Like the team meeting, so I didn't see that. Joel tweeted this. CJ put this in the notes. Joel tweeted it and then unretweeted it. And then Eric Gordon posts a couple hours ago, dude talking stupid shit. I'm going on year 18. That ain't my rep. Get your facts straight.
This was in reply to someone accusing Eric Gordon of being the snitch, not directly to Embiid.
Okay, good clarification. Thank you.
Clarification.
But Eric Gordon, just to say it.
Eric Gordon did it.
He did. Spike's been on that since the beginning. I don't know anything aside from it sounds right, and he did seem miserable last year. I like that Joel is like being coy about it. He won't say who it is, but he knows who it is, and it's maybe a person on the team, and it could be there, and it's free agency. How could I know? I'll just say Eric Gordon is eligible to be traded on December 15th, and we can just pencil that in.
let's unpack that for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
My guess, I was like, when I first read it in my head, especially when he said, well, that person definitely could still be around. I was like, all right, well, that means it's Lowry. It's not Lowry. I was like, Kyle Lowry would never. Like, I highly doubt Lowry would do that. Like, he's got way too many local connections, and he's just never been a guy to be a part of something like that.
No.
Grimes trying to get paid. Plus, he's young.
I don't think he was there yet.
And I don't even think he wasn't even there yet, so he's out automatically. And then, like, the obvious suspects, like, there's somebody in Maxey's can't leak it, or did Maxey leak it? I'm like, no way, like that, no way, absolutely not.
No.
And I did land on Eric Gordon, man. I was like, Eric Gordon was miserable from the jump last year. He just, I think I'm with Spike on this one.
Yeah, it had to be somebody that was new to the team, because Drummond had been here before, so he knew what it was like. Right. It was definitely somebody that's like, he's not here, he's never around, he's dragging.
And he likes Joel, like Drummond.
And he likes Joel. He wanted to be here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably Eric. Let's just say, if it's like an assistant coach or a trainer or anybody, and that person isn't fired today publicly and like tossed out, like sort of out of like an old medieval castle, like without any clothes, like they should be just like, get him out. It's that person. Get him out. Gone. Run away. Leave the city.
Like Jazz on Fresh Prince style. Just open the door and toss the door.
Tossed. But anyway, so we'll put the Eric Gordon thing aside, which is more fun to talk about, but the rest maybe isn't. But so much of this article is about like, who does Embiid trust? Who can he trust? Yep. There's his inner circle of friends, one of whom said gaining his trust was, quote, intoxicating. His host family in hie school, Marcy Hansen, shout out Marcy, who seems like the nicest lady alive, just trying to be there for a kid.
Yeah, sweetest pie.
Doesn't really, kid didn't speak the language, was closing himself off, was in high school. And he's becoming this top ranked prospect just like a couple years after starting the sport, which gets talked about in the article a lot. And that it happened so fast, and it took him a long time to accept how good he was. Could he trust her and her family?
Right.
His physical therapist, Kim Kaspare, heartbreaking, worked with him for 9 years. She like rode for him, said he never missed a session, wasn't like flaky with their time. She gave her life to him over those 9 years. The text she sent him in the Knicks series, incredible. I encourage you to read it. Touching.
Yeah, it's honestly, that relationship was the one that really stuck out for me, and the way that she rode for him, and the super. I mean, if I read that, I'm like, no wonder he averaged 35 a game in that series.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. And now she has 2 kids, and she can't do it anymore. And the relationship fractured a little bit over the course of the Knicks series, and then the Olympics, and getting healthy for that. And now she feels like Joel cut her out, and she's probably not going to be invited to Arthur's birthday. That's heartbreaking. And Joel's like, but Joel said that if he had it his way, she would still be there. And so there's just like a lack of communication, a lack of like being vulnerable and feeling like when someone breaks your trust, like that's it. And he finds it hard to be real with them again. Even just like, oh my God, leaving money out to see if somebody in his house is going to take it.
This is why people have to read this article. That's that part. And then the trainer being like, dude, are you just trying to see if I'm going to take it? And he's
a little bit.
A little bit, like, but he said, well, what do you mean? Like, wait, why are you just going to chill it there? And he's like, yeah, like if it's gone, I'll know exactly who took it. And it's like, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
that stack is booby trapped. That is he's got that thing counted. You're going to get lit up.
There's a weight, right? There's a weight in it. I know exactly where it's at. It's a weight.
For sure. And then the trust gets to the Sixers. He did not, or does not, you could say, trust the Sixers, and it doesn't matter which regime. There have been many. The lack of continuity we talked about, we'll talk about again, gets brought up constantly. Akintoye talks about the Lisa Salters interview, where Joel said he'll need surgery again, and the Sixers felt surprised by that, and he called it a cry for help. Then he goes back to the first few years in the league. Joel's hurt, foot not healing right, and the Sixers at that time, 2014, 2015, just don't believe him, and they decide to keep finding him, thinking he's just being lazy. And then it's reported here, everybody sit down, pull over if you're driving, that the person who had been overseeing his rehab, put the knife down, was an intern An intern.
You have to say it. Say it a third time. An intern.
Fuck. What is? I mean, that's so bad, dude. That's so bad. That's so bad. We've heard some drips of this kind of stuff over the years, but I'd never heard intern running his rehab. This is as clear as this kind of thing's been spelled out. Here's a quote. Embiid's reputation within the organization was toxic. Everyone was talking. Training camp, training staff, coaches, massage therapists, reporters, even intern whose main activities were snagging rebounds. I guess also running rehab regimens.
Oh, running rehab regimens.
Embiid was an enigmatic giant, his face shrouded in a hoodie, shuffling slowly and wordlessly, appearing and disappearing, it seemed on a whim. He just wouldn't talk to anybody on the team. One person familiar with the situation said, literally completely silent. And that led to the trips to Doha when he was still injured before he started playing. So this is, I mean, he's in a dark place. He's like at home in his apartment, and not even an apartment, in his hotel room in Philly.
In a hotel room at the Ritz-Carlton.
At the Ritz, and his brother's dying, and he's not around his family, and he can't play, and he's hurt, and it's just like the thing you get about this whole article, and we'll get to it at the very end, but I just wanted to like call it out here. It's like, you said it earlier, Embiid, not blameless. Like immaturity as a kid, unwilling to like seize the leadership mantle, and then trying to do the right thing sometimes, but then like completely let down by other people.
Right.
And things that are still eating at him today of how mistakes or choices he made when he was younger. And like a couple years into his basketball career, it just never clicked. It's always been wrong or weird. And he's been at this workplace for, you said, 11 years. And that is a long time to have had so much turnover and so much uncertainty and so much nothing like easy and calm and steady. And he's not blameless for sure, but
it's crazy. And I think one little, like tidbit, again, I stress for it 100 times. Please read and digest the article again. The idea that his like pausing and wanting to be the guy, or the problem with it, amongst other things, is the fact that he gets put in between so much shit that he doesn't want to be in. Like the fact that Harden just doesn't even talk to him anymore. Like him and James Harden just don't have a relationship. Yeah. And like that sucks, because I felt like you could even hear it through the article that he's upset about that. Yeah. And it does make you think about just what happened with him and Ben Simmons. It's stuff that you really have to look back at and say, damn, like maybe shit did go down a lot differently. And it's just the fact that Joel either lost trust in those guys, or the lack of trust he had with the organization affected his relationship with that guy. Like, who knows what kind of conversation him and Jimmy had, and maybe he was like, it's really, really crazy to think about after reading this, like just really how fractured his relationship with the organization is. Yeah, I want to talk about the Harden thing, talk about the Jimmy thing. But first we got to talk about DraftKings Sportsbook. Okay, look, DraftKings is our most mainstream sponsor. Everybody knows that. Everybody else, a little bit of a counterculture sponsor. DraftKings is the culture. It has in here that I should talk about UFC. I'm not going to talk about UFC. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to do it. We're going to talk about college basketball futures, dog. I got you here. We're going to get into it. I love how packed it is at the top. Nobody knows who's going to emerge. It's going to be one of the best seasons of college basketball in a really, really long time about to happen to us. Purdue is the favorite, plus 900. Houston. Kelvin Sampson's Houston, that is dying to finally break through. Right behind him at 1,000. Duke, 1,100 with the Boozer brothers. UConn, coming back, 1,500. Michigan, 1,500, Dusty May. Florida, repeating, 1,600. BYU, AJ DeBansa, 1,700 right there. The Johnnies. Baby. Patino. Bryce Hopkins. Let's go. Bryce Hopkins back from injury. Let's go. Providence style. And then Kentucky plus 1,800. That is 9 teams with better than 2,000 odds
to win the national championship. That is packed. That is packed at the top.
I can't wait, man.
Who do you like this year? Talk to me. What of those teams? Who are you excited about?
St. John's in Houston.
Yes, sir. For the brand, you like hard-nosed defense. That'll tell you a lot more about who you are than your astrology.
I was just gonna say, you know me, dude. We're so close, but those two teams will tell you a lot more about myself than astrology. I love both those teams. You know I love Houston, dude. You know
always.
I love Samson. He gets those guys up every morning. They're running. They do their conditioning is like they have to run like 10-minute miles before they go to the weight room. And like after that, then they're on the court.
Yep.
Then they're playing. They just run defensive drills. Like he's so the Izzo is oozing out of him. I just love it so much.
Yeah, fucking JoJo Tugler, just a fucking sledgehammer coming at you.
He's like, dude. He's like B-Doc on the basketball.
He is B-Doc.
It's like he just comes out. They're like, "Yo, is JoJo ready?" Oh, he's ready.
He's ready. He jumps over the bench. I like it, man. I'm so excited for college basketball this season. It's going to be a really, really good, really good college basketball season. So go to DraftKings Sportsbook to put some futures bets in. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook now. Use code RTRS. Code RTRS for new customers. Get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Gotta be 21. See show notes for details. Okay, so you mentioned the Harden thing. Harden, it's very interesting because when he says Harden doesn't talk to him anymore, Joel says this quote. This is a quote.
Yeah.
Because James thinks that Joe had something to do with not getting that contract that James thinks that Daryl had promised him. And I find this so interesting because the roles are flipped. Joel has done this kind of thing to a lot of people. Yeah. And now it's happening to him. And he's like, it's really frustrating when someone thinks you did something that you didn't, or somebody thinks you broke your trust when you really didn't. It's also interesting because Joel's been adamant, for years really, that he doesn't really want to recruit. He doesn't want to be part of those sort of LeBron style front office decisions where, hey, come to me before you do anything. He likes to like maintain that innocence and being like, it wasn't me, I didn't do it. But then he does like to complain about it afterwards.
Doesn't complain about it,
which he's always done with Jimmy. So
always
Jimmy.
Right. Yeah.
And so I thought that was really interesting, and it's sad because those guys were close and they were really, Harden had his issues, and I understand why you're not letting your 6-year-old son Amari watch him play basketball, but they were good together, and he led the league in assists, and Joel was averaging over 30 doing his thing, and I don't believe that Joel told him not to pay him. I just don't believe that. I think
I don't, and I think that I find that hard to believe. I also find it hard to believe that there was any kind of anti-Harden campaign in the building. I really do think that relationship between him and Daryl just soured quickly, more faster than people thought. And it's funny because I was just gonna say it's just funny because I really do think that Joel's uncomfortable doing that stuff.
Yeah.
And he even looked uncomfortable doing it with Paul George. Like he was even uncomfortable, like that whole interview, during the playoffs when he came down and sat next to him. Like that was just weird. It looked weird. Like Joel looked weird doing it. But I don't buy that he went to Daryl and was like, nah, don't give him that max.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's two guys who have been, and the article gets into this, not as much with Harden, obviously, 'cause it's not about him, but two guys who at various points in their career have really been the word that would denigrate it is coddled.
Yep.
And both of them, Harden was really catered to, and he performed and he delivered a lot. Maybe not as much in the playoffs, but he was healthy. He was there. He did it. And then finally Daryl was like, I'm not going to give you every single penny I can give you. I would want to give you a more reasonable amount.
More reasonable, right.
Right. And he felt offended by that. Joel has always been, there's so much baggage there. Hinkie hired the Australian doctor Dr. David Martin.
Yep.
And so with him and the physical therapist Kim Kaspari, a pattern had emerged. This is a quote, those loyal to Embiid and invested in his future became an organization within the Sixers organization. Embiid's allies saw him as wounded and gifted and alone and in need of reinforcing. Martin, trying to understand how to work with Embiid and explain his behavior, started reading in-depth about working with gifted children. That seems right. They flattered his proclivities, covered for his tardiness. And then Dotun asked Martin if he thinks they coddled him early on. And he says, I don't know if I'm being perceptive or if I'm just creating an elaborate justification for him. And years later, it's difficult for those who surrounded and supported Embiid to parse between, did they damage him with indulgence or did they save his career? Right. And there's not a yes or no. It's not a this or that. It is all of it. There's been 11 years of this. There's been 11 years of mistakes, of Joel acting immature, of Joel not treating his body quite right, and then the Sixers not listening to him when he said something is wrong and alienating him and not having any continuity so he can build that trust with people. He's clearly a guy who takes a really long time to trust somebody.
Forever.
And that has, I think, hurt. In addition to his injuries on the court, I think that's hurt them as far as like chemistry goes, and as far as like off the court stuff. And I mean, I'm sure the Sixers would have their own opinions about all this article, and I wonder if they're going to get asked about it and how Daryl's going to respond, and because a lot of that stuff happened before Daryl got here. But he says during the Knicks series that he wished somebody with the Sixers would step in and say you're not playing.
Right.
Later in the article, he said, I probably would have played anyway. So he's like, I'm probably still going to be myself. Right. But, you know, he wants people to care about his future. He wants people to really care about him for him. But years of short-sightedness on Joel's part, on the team's part, has contributed just to compounding the body problems that he has. And it led to Kaspari saying that it was his whole system that was hurt.
It was jacked up,
and causing him to be alone in his agony. And that's just all heavy shit, man. That's all of that is so heavy.
The crazy thing is I get a lot of in the article again is Nick Nurse saying like don't yell at me, dude. I'm just giving you the update. Like Joel was supposed to have a thing this morning. Turns out he didn't have the thing, so they're going to have the thing tomorrow, you know, so he's probably not playing tomorrow. Don't yell at me. Like I'm just giving a medical update because I'm giving medical updates apparently off every fucking day now. And I just get so many shades of like late years Brett Brown, you know, like just getting like fed up with having to give the medical update after the medical update and the medical update after the medical update. And like that relationship eventually gets fractured too, because then, you know, like Joel even said that, you know, after he said that he wished someone from the Sixers would have just stepped in that series, he was like, you know, in the building, Joel dictates a lot of what Joel does, which we've heard for 11 years. You know, Joel dictates a lot of what Joel does. Joel tells us when he's going for shoot around. Joel tells the trainers if he's coming there for treatment. You know, like Joel, you know, gets his foot rubbed, eating a cheeseburger, and it's because he's hungry and didn't eat the night before. It's like, like, it's just sad. Like, I didn't come away with this saying, damn, I wish Joel would grow up. I just came away saying, like, damn, this could potentially lead to like one of the more nastier breakups in sports history. You know, like, at some point. It just strikes me as a relationship that is hemorrhaging on both sides. You know, Joel has lost a lot of trust in the organization. The organization is just trying to find some kind of amends, you know, trying to get that spark back, and then this drops. So I'm just as interested as everybody else to find out if they get asked about it. I'm sure they will. So we'll see what they say. But
yeah,
it's
honestly comforting that he's never had trust in the organization. Yeah, like, I don't know that it's not like this is a new thing. I think they've messed up in so many ways. And then the Colangelo thing happens. He mentions Burnergate. He mentions like injuries and things just that go wrong. You know, alludes to Fultz, alludes to Simmons, Zaire, like all that stuff. I think it's interesting that for the first time they don't have a timeline of when he'll get back on the court.
Yeah.
I don't know anything necessarily, but that seems very smart to me. Like, take your time, step away, clear your mind, get some rest, and then see, you know. I think last year his body was just wrong, and I think he was part of it was the mentality of like, okay, only the playoffs matter, but the season just sputtered before it like could even start.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad that there's not like a timeline. I'm glad for everybody that nobody has to be given the Joel updates right now. It's just like, go rest, go play with your kid. Like, kid hasn't missed a shot yet. That is
that's
helpful.
That's telling you something.
A couple more.
Have a sleep, man.
Yes, sir. A couple more parts that I found interesting. He got into how much Joel was really hitting his peak before Kuminga fell on his knee. And they had various people talk about like that was when he finally figured out like, oh, I'm the best player in the world, and this is how good I can be. Like feeling confident in himself, believing in himself. The Sixers were 26-7 with Embiid in the lineup before he injured his left knee at Golden State in January 2024. He was averaging 35.3 points in 34 minutes, outpacing Wilt Chamberlain's 1961-62 season and on his way to becoming only the second player in history to score more than a point a minute. That is the season after he won MVP. He had already won MVP, and then he was doing that. And it's somehow only a year and a half ago. It's crazy to believe. Feels like we've been in this for a long time, but it's only a year and a half ago. And he's so good, man. He got this good. The article makes you feel like it's a miracle that he ever got this good.
Yeah, truly.
And also like the real potential of maybe that's it. And Dotun asked Daryl and Joel, what if it's over? What if it never heals? What if this is, you never get back to the place you were? And both of them seemingly, like, you could really see the scene. He paints it really well. He paused, pretty harrowed thinking about it, maybe even like emotional, near tears. And then both of them separately crack up laughing in separate instances of discussing that. And it's like, that's what it's like, man. That's what it's got to be like for them, because there's so much has happened, and it's just like, how is this fucking real? And then that's what it's like for fans. Like you're so forlorn about stuff, and you're so like depressed, and then you're laughing about it because it's like, how the fuck has this gone? How has all of these things happened to one team, to one man?
How is this real, dude? Like this is the one little tidbit about from Nick Batum, where he's like, dude, I sat next to him. I saw his knee after every one of those Knicks games. Yeah. And he's like, forget about playing. Like I was wondering how he's even walking. And I think we were, obviously we took that for granted, but he was like, literally, I saw his knee after every game and after every shoot around. I had no clue how he was even shooting up. And like, again, it's one of those things where all you can do is just laugh, because you're like, how do we even, get to that point? Yeah. Like, it does straddle the line between heroic and just stupid. Yeah. Like we think about the greater at large, and the greater at large is what we're looking at now. So I feel for him. I think that there is some soul searching to be done. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm very glad that there's no timetable. Like, just why put that? Why do that to any of us and say we expect him back in October and he's not back in November? Just
that's the way that you got to like start building trust slowly, being like, what's whatever you want, man. However you feel, like whatever you got to get, whatever we got to get to get you there. Josh Harris has all the money in the world. Like we may as well spend it on like whatever anybody needs for like a holistic plan to get him there. I mean, we've been doing this for 11 years, so whatever. But I love that Jameer Nelson recommended he go to therapy, and that he was reluctant. He was resistant to it at first, and now he's going, and he's like 100% committed. It's like good for Joe, good for Jameer.
That's good for Jameer, man.
Nice little piece of business.
Yeah, nice little tidbit. I love that. I love that Jameer is still around. Jameer is salt of the earth, a great guy to have in the organization, and I'm glad that reading that Jameer is the one who convinced him to go. It's just you can obviously piece together that Jameer is somebody who in the building that he definitely has some kind of trust with,
totally,
and some kind of kinship. So shout out to Jameer for working on that relationship, and I'm really happy to hear that and to read that he stuck with it. You know, and he was, as someone who has gone to therapy and
yes, sir,
continues to go. It is a huge step to make. It's and so I shout out to Joe.
Absolutely.
I wish him the absolute best in that journey. And
it's funny.
He's human.
He's very human. It's funny to imagine if you are that therapist. Don't you hurt our guy. You better don't tell anybody. Don't tell us if you listen to this podcast and you're the therapist for Joel. Don't tell us.
Fucking zip it.
Just keep doing your thing. Protect him. It is funny to imagine Joel explaining process lore to his therapist the same way I do with my therapist. Just being like, well, so Dario wasn't supposed to come over, but then he did, and he actually wasn't as great as we kind of wanted to be. But he's a fun guy. Good, like him just doing the whole thing would be the Kawhi shot, everything.
So that's the joke, right? So wait, did Dario ever come over? No. He wasn't supposed to.
He wasn't supposed to, but he did.
But he did come over.
I thought that the section on his time with the Olympic team, you mentioned it earlier, was really compelling. And I want to focus on his relationship with Halliburton, which kills me because he should have been a Sixer. That would have been very nice.
Chef's kiss.
Could have been something else, a different timeline. But
right.
Tyrese like coaxing him into watching the Pacers playoff run because he was like, it just hurts too bad to watch anything. It hurts too bad to watch the finals even. Until Game 7, Embiid watches the finals, Game 7 only, and
of course
Halliburton tears his Achilles.
Why does his boy get hurt?
Go down, and Embiid turns it off in disgust. It's just like the levels of tragedy that are around Joel, and he mentions not all the tragedies. Obviously, it's something he can control, but like it really by the end of it. He started to examine whether and like take ownership for stuff of like the bad habits that he had early on. Could they have hurt his body now? Could they have put him in a position where had he been a better leader, had he been somebody that was more vocal and was closer with teammates and staff and was like Steph Curry walking around like he's everybody's like, governor,
right.
Then it would have been a more like, he could have set a culture that we'd now be living with. A little bit like the best time to plant a tree was yesterday or 10 years ago, and the second best time is now.
Right.
And so hopefully look, he's getting older and he's, who knows what he's got left, but I like hearing that kind of introspection. He's still armed with the same like defenses that we all are about why everything has gone wrong so many times. But I like him at least, not necessarily like blaming himself for everything or getting into despair because he did everything wrong or regret or anything, but just seeing that there were things he could have done differently and how that can affect him going forward. Like that's all you can do. That's really all you can do.
What if like one of those 9,000 unanswered texts is like a decade ago, and it's like him and Thomas Robinson and like Tony Roden talking about what are they going to eat in Chicago that night, and Tony's like, damn, so no answer yet. Joe, what are you feeling tonight?
An unanswered text from 2015 being like, Joel, I got to know what you want. We're ordering out. I'm still waiting. I need to know. We're trying to get you a slice. Please send your order in. You're holding everybody up.
Joe, we're starving. What do you want?
We're so hungry. We haven't eaten in so long. Joel, just look at your phone, man. Come on, dog. Oh, man. I do think, he mentions, he talks about, I think he really does care about how people talk about him. I think everybody does on some level, but I think he really does care about what people say about him. And I think he's similar to Durant in that way. Mm-hmm. And I do think that there's some level of that to all superstars, probably always, but especially in like a social media time. But those two guys really, really wear it,
I agree. Yep.
And Joel says in the article, which is again incredibly good, you should read it.
Yeah.
We did it. I think we touched on a bunch of it, but there's still so many things that we haven't talked about. That you should talk about. But Joel says when his career's over, that we'll never hear from him again. And I'm just not sure I buy it. I'm not sure I buy that.
I don't buy it because I think that he's too much of a beacon of the game right now. I mean, this the 66th greatest player of all time, according to if you rate those things. But I think for what he means to Cameroon in terms of the game and what he means to the game in general, I don't buy it. I think that, I know he said that he cares about how he ends the game as a player, but not as a person. I don't buy that either. He's too sensitive to not care about those things. I think that he works really hard. And you can go back further, but if you go back recently to when he blew up on Marcus Hayes about how much he's done for the city and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that doesn't disappear. You're still a guy who loves the city. There's a lot of people in the city who still love you, who root for you heavily. I think that he's speaking from frustration right now, which is, I get it, totally. But I don't buy that. Well, he'll like disappear Kaiser Sose style into, the mainline air somewhere.
No, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's been 11 years with this guy, and he's under contract for 3 more. And I really hope he plays. I love the guy, dude. He's just an immensely special person and completely special to this game and the city. He's certainly the best Sixer of my lifetime. I feel so bad for the things he's gone through, and I feel sad for the things about himself that he hasn't been able to overcome. And I hope that he is on the journey of like getting through that, not just because I want him to have success on a basketball court, but because I also care deeply about him as a human being. It was a really good article. I really, really encourage everyone to read it for the 75th time. And I'm sure, hopefully, Spike will be back next episode. We'll talk to him about what he got out of the article. I'm sure it'll be different from what we talked about. And hopefully we get Dotun on to talk to him about what it was like sitting with him, because this is the one, man. I think like this article, I'm sure there's going to be biographies written in later on, but I don't know that they're going to be as in-depth and something. Maybe I save this for next week, or I'll just say it now and I'll say it again. But there's something especially special about this one, and that feels right because we are in the middle of Joel's uncertainty.
Yeah.
And that feels, when if someone writes a book in 8 years and he's already retired and he's going to go in the Hall of Fame at some point, then it'll be like, okay, yeah, let's look back and we'll have perspective and we'll go from there. We'll know everything. We'll have all the information. But now, like, part of the Joel story, the Joel mystique, and the Joel frustration is not knowing. This whole time, it's like, what's it going to be like? Is he going to be healthy? Is he going to be able to get there? Is he going to be able to, pass out of a double team that they are like throwing at him, doubles and triples teams every path? And he is right when he figured everything out on a basketball court is when like the biggest gut punch happened for injury wise. And I think this article of in the middle of an off season that could really go one way or the other. I think this will be remembered as like the definitive piece about Joel, and I'm glad we got it.
And I highly, highly, highly recommend it to anyone who is just even as a cursory knowledge of the Sixers relationship with Joel. Like, even if you just started watching, during all of the second round exits and, you missed out on the process years, I definitely recommend it just because a great dive into that. I'm going to read it again, obviously, but I definitely can't recommend it enough. I think it's a great insight into just how we got to where we are today, which is what a lot of people, I think, deserve to know.
Well, we'll be back on Sunday. Zoe, this was a delight. We got into some heavy shit, as
yes,
we always do.
We always do.
And that's what happens with this team. I love you. I appreciate you being here.
Love you, brother.
I want to see some. I want to see some doctors getting measurements on Amari, seeing what those leg joints are looking like.
You know it. We'll check out all the tendons.
Give me those good. Give me the good tendons.
Right.
I don't want any of those. None of those bottom shelf tendons. Give me a top shelf.
None of the bottom shelf.
I want to really stretch. Get nice and long.
Nice and long.
I got the
insurance. We can afford it.
Yes, 6364. Get me to St. Bonaventure. That's all we're trying to do,
baby. Get us to St. Bonnie. That's fine. Get us a little Conference USA. We're good to go.
I love it. Zoe, thank you so much. Are you down with TTP?
Yeah, you know. Lick face.